Hi everyone, Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech, and yesterday Apple released iPadOS 26 Beta 2. Along with this update, we also got the release of iOS 26 Beta 2, macOS Tahoe 26 Beta 2, watchOS 26 Beta 2, tvOS and HomePodOS 26 Beta 2, as well as visionOS 26 Beta 2. Now, I am not running the beta. I am currently on iPadOS 18.5, but I am going to talk about what's new in iOS 26 Beta 2. And the first change I'll start with is we now have new ringtone, or one new ringtone, in iOS 26. I'm not going to play that ringtone, but we have a new Reflection Alt Encore Remix ringtone that is in iOS 26 Beta 2. Now, if we go to the lock screen here, we can go to a wallpaper. There is a new parallax effect wallpaper. If you tilt your device, now this won't show up for me as I'm on iOS 18, but you do have a new parallax effect with wallpapers as well as the notification in iOS 26 Beta 2 or iPadOS 26 Beta 2. Now there's also a change within the control center. If you pull down the control center in iOS 26 Beta 1 and iPadOS 26 Beta 1, it would blur the wallpaper, or it wouldn't blur the wallpaper, and a lot of people would sort of see everything through it. It would darken the wallpaper on iPhone, and a lot of people would be able to see through it. They did not like that change. They wanted the wallpaper and the apps behind it to be a little bit blurred. Now, there was a way to turn that off by going to Accessibility, Display and Text Size, and I guess I had Reduced Transparency turned on, or Increased Contrast rather. And that's another thing I'll mention as well. But you go to Reduce Transparency, and if you go to the wallpaper, I typically do not like how this looks. I like it better in iOS 26 because it doesn't put this background around sort of your wallpaper. And Reduced Transparency gets updates too. You can see Reduced Transparency now has outlines, or Increased Contrast, now has outlines around the different things. You see there's an outline around this box and an outline around the back arrow. So that gets updates, and it also makes all these switches gray. All the toggles it makes gray. So that is a nice new change in iOS 26. Spotlight Search gets updates. You can sort of see through the keyboard, and it's a little bit more darker than it was in iOS 18. Here in iOS 18, the keyboard is light. And if I go into light mode, you can see it's really light. Well, in iOS 26, it is more darker. And I'm not sure why when I swipe home and go back into the Craft app, it zooms out even more of my pictures. But the keyboard is more darker than iPadOS 18. And notifications gets updates with the liquid glass as well. There's more updates with, there's also updates with the battery. If we go into the battery here, and again, this won't show up for me as I'm on iOS 18, but that's why I have screenshots to show off in this video. We have our green and blue sort of things that we've always had, these indicators here. Initially in iOS 26 and iPadOS 26, they were brown and green. Well, they brought back some of the blue. I believe some of the brown is still there in the battery indicator settings. And they've also put the last charged option, and you have sort of battery intelligence. It appears there for a brief second. If I unplug another device that's using my iPad's charger here, and I plug in this iPad, and it's at 46%. It can also tell you for a brief second when it was last charged. Or it can tell you for a brief second how long you have remaining until it charges. Although that's only for Apple Intelligent devices. So that's A17 chip and M1 chip and iPhone 15 Pro and newer on the iPhone. Now, as far as anything else, oh, and there is one more thing I forgot to mention. Two more things. There is also a live radio widget for Apple Music. If we go into Apple Music here, again, because I'm not on the beta, this will not show up for me. But you do have a live radio widget in Apple Music. Now, I listen to a lot of radio in music because I don't have an Apple Music subscription, so I can't listen to any songs in Apple Music. That's what I have YouTube Music and Spotify for, that I listen to songs through there. But with YouTube, with Apple Music, it's, you have your radio, or I listen to my radio, but you have a new live radio widget. So if you want to go through your different radio stations, this isn't that widget, but you do have a live radio widget in iPadOS 26 as well as iOS 26. I'll be adding that and showing it off on the iPhone. Maybe I'll play my radio and show it off. I won't play it while I'm recording it. I'll stop recording it, play it, and then show you guys how it works and merge the two clips in CapCut. But we do have a new live radio widget, and the test flight icon gets an update in iOS 26. I don't think I screenshotted it. This is the current test flight icon in iOS 18. But the test flight icon in iOS 26, it gets some updates. As far as when to expect the next update from Apple, iOS 26 Beta 3, well, I would expect that on July 7th. July 7th is when I would expect iOS 25 or iOS 26 Developer Beta 3. Next week, I would expect iOS 18.6 Beta 2. It's a really small update, just going to bring some bug fixes and improvements. I don't think iOS 18.6 will be a massive update. It might bring a couple features here and there to existing features, but not a lot of features that we typically get. But iOS 26 Beta 3, I would expect that on July 7th. Last year, Apple released iOS 18 Beta 3 on July 8th and the public beta on July 15th. This year, I would expect July 7th for iOS 26 Beta 3, as well as on the 14th, the public beta. And I will have a video on my YouTube channel showing you guys how to update to the public beta. I'm not entirely sure if I'll be updating it. I am thinking about putting the public beta on my iPhone 12. That only will happen, however, if I upgrade but also keep my iPhone 12, as I'm not giving that device away and I'm using that as my beta testing device so that I can install iOS 26 and you guys will get to see the beta software or the new software on that device. I'm only doing that if I have another iPhone to run stable. That's why I'm trying to upgrade and get the iPhone 14 so that I can unbox it, review it on the channel, and use my iPhone 12 for beta testing. And I may even do some comparisons here and there with the cameras and specs and processor. But we can expect the public beta on July 14th, as well as betas throughout August and September. I would expect iOS 26 to launch on September 15th. Now, I'm not sure how long my What's New video, or actually I am sure. I'm probably going to do a 20 to 30 minute video covering as many features as I can in iOS 26, then a live stream later that night. I'll do another video for iPad as well. I'll cover some of the features that are in iOS 26 on iPad, but I'm not going to be covering every change. The iPad gets its own set of features, and personally, I'm really excited mainly for the iPad because the iPad gets the new windowing system. I use an iPad Air from 2020. Let me just go into the settings and show you guys here. I have an iPad Air from 2020. I've had this iPad for over 3 years, and it does run perfectly on the latest software. But it will get the new windowing system in iPadOS 26. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech. Make sure you guys follow me on TikTok as well. And I will see you guys in the next video.